You clearly have a knack for this. The family of a failed entrepreneur with a debt of 78,000. Yet you can still laugh heartily. Only because you unexpectedly acquired a culinary system. Not only can you gain countless secret recipes, you can also learn various divine level skills. Everyone in the entire mechanical factory is waiting to hear your noodle shop's witty remarks. You just made a secret red braised beef noodle. In just one day, you made a profit of 128. Directly completing a life-changing transformation. At this moment, the morning ritual begins. A golden bag is ignited right before your eyes, creating a three-way flow of light that enters the heart. The system prompts him. He obtained the secret red braised beef noodle recipe. Top-notch old-fashioned spicy dishes and divine-level noodle techniques. The information flows smoothly into his mind. In that brief moment, it feels like he has been standing in front of the podium for 30 years. Selecting the right flour and surface for the noodles. Each section has been carved into a meat memory. In the morning, he decides to make a batch of quality noodles. The shop has no money to buy meat. But the original owner had filled the entrance. Bought a piece of beef but hasn't used it yet. 2 or 3 pieces of beef with a layer of fat. Perfectly made red braised. A opens the lid of the pot and the aroma wafts out. Out comes a batch of noodles. Add water, add salt. With one hand, he advances the noodles. That kind of control sensation ignites in an instant. The noodles in his hand seem to have a destiny. He pulls and twists. In just a moment, it turns into countless root strands like silk. The surface is gleaming. The awakened function handles the beef. Go and get some water. Stir-fried ingredients are just left with the remaining 8-sided meat. Start frying in oil. The fragrant spices are added in. The fragrant aroma explodes in an instant. The beef is fried to a bright color. Add chili oil and white sugar for color. Open the pot and pour the red broth in. The fragrant meat aroma wafts into the small kitchen. He pull the noodles. Awakening the noodles to go on the board. With both hands, he pulls the 2 heads of noodles. The noodles resemble silver dragon entering the sea. Hitting the board makes a clear sound. Pull 3 folds. The thick noodles are ready. In an instant, it turns into countless root strands like silk. Water flows down the surface. The surface strands resemble silver dragons entering the sea. Stir a few times and the noodles rise. The clear broth is filtered. Entering the bowl. Pour in a large ladle of red braised beef. Add some meat. Then sprinkle top-notch old-fashioned spicy dishes and coriander. A bright red soup. A white layer of snow. A large portion of red braised beef. Paired with green and yellow vegetables. In the morning, he takes a sip of water. The door just opened and he thought of a bite. The door was captured by the sound of the thunder. The sound of the door outside is like a fierce wind. He's the original owner, that killer pig's brother. Struggling to kill the pig to earn a few pieces of money. This family doesn't back down. Borrowing 800 is his fate. Motor Sand is crying beside. In the morning, he releases the noodles. Deeply inhaling a breath. Already occupying this body of noodles. A must collect. A strides towards the door. The door just opened a crack. The original owner just rushed in. In his hand, he holds a root noodle used to make the soup. The aroma of the soup rises. Today is not a day to mess with this family. Sam Suelan is coming. Grab onto the seat. Death is looming before the child. You need to strike first and take him down. He's got a little shadow behind him. 3.5 years old, wearing an oversized flower dress. With hands tightly gripping a half-frozen head. Big eyes are all watery. In the morning, 5 flavors are swirling in my heart. Lu Hyang-wo is still trying to break his legs. The little one hasn't even landed yet. Sam Shualon is a bit of a troublemaker. The first glance at the entrance is a child who is too thin. This is just a mouthful of bean paste. Before I knew it, I was mixing up the accounts. But now I think it through. The restaurant doesn't care if he has a heart to earn money. Just make sure he eats in the restaurant for 2 years. The beans are not cut well. That's the point of earning money. Don't bend over. The restaurant is going out. The remaining debts are slowly being paid off. The old couple is really calculating, replacing him with a new one. In the morning, there is a sour taste in my heart. Let them do what they want. Lu Hyang-wo is living in a mess. A big red pot is boiling. The white noodles are shining. Clearly divided. The red soup is floating thick on the surface. Big chunks of spicy beef. Piling up like a small mountain. This green pepper is golden yellow. The aroma of the meat is like a magnet. Lu Hyang-wo is rolling. The trust will pass through the doubts. Grab a piece of beef and put it in your mouth. In an instant, his eyes are wide open. The beef is tender and flavorful. Go down. The meat soup bursts open. The aroma is slightly spicy, bringing with it a unique flavor. He also inhales deeply. The noodles are slippery. The noodles are like living things, bouncing in the mouth. Lu Xiangguo wants to talk. The mouth can't stop. The noodles quickly go into the mouth. In a few moments, a big bowl is eaten clean. The bottom of the bowl is filled with soup. Leave the bowl, Lu Xiangguo is full. Say it well. This is better than what the big chef at the restaurant makes. Sang Suilan is not convinced. In the morning, he also comes out with 2 bowls. He didn't say a word. Suffering from the head. The little one is not sitting still. In the morning, he hugged him to the table. Take away the frozen head. Pushed the noodles over. The little one's eyes are bright and clear. The clumsy hand lifts a piece of meat to the mouth. The little one is bouncing. 2 short legs are swaying. Say that the meat made by the brother is delicious. Watching the family eat, I don't want to leave. In the morning, the corner of the mouth is lifted. The delicious food is getting better. After eating, Lu Xiangguo takes a picture of the table. Say there is this skill. This restaurant can open a branch and still feel valuable. Sang Suilan is holding back her name. In the morning, self-confidence is full, saying that the aroma is not afraid of the depth. The little one pulled his clothes. Say you still want to eat meat. In the morning, he pinched his nose and said he would eat. Holding the little one, the white chubby. The little one is close to his face. Say the brother is the best. In the morning, the heart is melting. Darkness settles in. This bowl must let the family have a good day. A announced that the restaurant is changing to a specialty noodle shop. Order up, it's loose braised beef noodles. Lu Xiangguo, the pride of the nation. He ate your all. What are you missing to tell him? Lu Qin says he's short on meat. Let dad help out at the butcher's. Get some good beef bones and milk. Lu Xiangguo, 1 mouthful is enough. The business is booming. The sound of the sun rising brings a strange aroma. The old man at the noodle shop is back at the door. Oil stains on a white shirt. Grab the meat cleaver. The old man with a cheerful demeanor asks. Is still no news from the door? Lu Xiangguo is going to stir things up. It was caught off guard. It quietly tells him to leave. Tomorrow's the big day. Let him see who's behind the scenes. The old man at the noodle shop grumbles about the competition. It can handle it for a few days. It casually walks away. Lu Xiangguo's eyes are sharp. The whole family is bustling in the afternoon. Lu Xiangguo has written a new menu for the restaurant. Red braised beef noodles, 6 strands. 2 strands on the clear soup. The second day of clear soup. It's not bright yet. He's going to the butcher's. He borrowed the experience from the previous generation. Bought some good beef brisket and bones. Back at the restaurant, the fire is blazing. The aroma of red braised beef fills the street. The beef is simmering, filling the entire street. The old man at the noodle shop just pushed the door open. The aroma wafts down. The red braised beef is ready. It chakos. The old man grumbles about the red braised beef. The fool just went to eat. He moved to the kitchen to clean up. It's still not bright. The air is light, just like the morning. The breakfast stall on the street has already opened. The hot air mixes with the aroma of the soy sauce. Towards the people. Lu Xiangguo is driving that rickety old cart. Is still passing through the sleepy old street. The cold wind is blowing on his face. He suddenly wakes up. In his mind, that memory jumped out. The day before yesterday. The original owner is by the river. In fact, he just wants to jump into the river. The result is just right. Suddenly, he hears a shout. A woman in a white dress. He don't know how she slipped into the river. The original owner is still wet. Back the water is good. In the river, 1 hot pot is boiling. He spent 9 cows and 2 tigers to pull him up. That girl just drank a few mouthfuls. Stumbling and staggering. A few voices of men are getting louder. He also didn't see the clear girl. He heard someone shouting from afar. Afraid of being scalded, he just jumped in. Lu Xiangguo is laughing. This little kid did a good deed without leaving a name. He became an unnamed hero. Not that he did much. Otherwise, he would have been a dead ghost. The butcher shop is right next to the village. From far away, you can smell the aroma of fresh meat. Lu Xiangguo is already at the door. Wearing a suit, he looks like a big shot. Holding a half-finished firecracker. The hands are holding a bamboo stick. Lu Xiangguo shouted. De riksav. Lu Xiangguo hit the ground. He passed the bamboo stick. In a low voice. This is just the beginning of a great bowl of beef noodles. There are still 2 beef skewers. He wants a profit margin. Let the kid go back and do well. Don't be too casual. The morning light has passed through the alley. The alley is filled with the aroma of delicious food. The beef noodle soup is clear and fragrant. The meat quality is still fresh. What you see is just the good stuff. Smirks. It's all about making money. Buy those big leather shoes for dad that last long. The country is developing, but the art is still lacking. Push him back and get the meat cooked. Don't mess up during lunchtime. Return to the restaurant. The sky is already bright. The bank's ledger has also opened up. The big guy is sitting at the entrance, holding a tea tray in hand. The eyes are watching the morning light. Here comes the morning light with the tea tray. It talks about the strange smell of the sun. The meat has come back. Who eats this much meat? Don't try it once, it won't be worth it. You can only leave yourself with some brains. The morning light is stepping forward. It turned his head and looked at him. No one is leading the way into the store. Following this kind of person is a waste of time. The best counterattack is to make a living. After entering the back kitchen, the morning light is busy starting to rise. Beef bones are being washed and cut. Entering the big pot to boil water. Beef slices are cut into large pieces. Cold water boils down to hot water. Grab the pot. Start boiling the oil. The caramel color is the most tested fire. The caramel has turned old and is hard to manage. The caramel has turned dark. The morning light is watching the pot of melted white sugar. Watching it turn from white to brown. Then it turns into a reddish color. With a quick hand, the beef is moved forward. Beef is topped with a bright caramel color. In an instant, it changes to an incomparable taste. Continuing to add in the fragrant spices. The big pot is boiling with fragrant flavors. Again, it enters without the beef's soup. The red soup is boiling. The fragrant meat bursts out in an instant. Compared to yesterday, that stock still needs to be thickened. People on the street are gradually increasing. The morning light is taking the red noodle list. Standing at the most visible spot at the entrance. A few workers passing by stop, pointing at each other. Someone says they have a hair. This kid is thinking about money and thinking about trouble. The meat in the country restaurant is only 3 hairs. There are still people talking. He said yesterday he almost closed the store. Today he is about breaking the bowl. To keep one knife is one knife. The big guy is holding a tea tray. Standing in the middle of the road, loudly drinking. Talking about the bank's economic benefits. Large-scale management. Like some black-hearted shops. The noodle surface is willing to break. This is to take the workers' blood money. A few original workers are watching at the entrance of the restaurant. Turning the head to move forward into the restaurant. The morning light is returning to the door. Holding both hands. Standing at the door frame. Not in a hurry. At this moment, a person wearing grey work clothes. Looks like there is a bit of a middle-aged man passing by. He is carrying a tool bag. Looks like he just got off the night shift. The old man walks to the entrance of the restaurant. Sighting in the air. Looking left and right. Finally, the sun has set. That big steamed bun behind. The aroma is wafting out from over there. Getting him to work hard is like pulling teeth. Grandpa is really something. Always makes a fuss. Check the price at the entrance. Is that a bit too expensive? He laughs as he says, where there's a will, there's a way. This beef is fresh from the morning slaughter. It's hand-pulled. That soup is bubbling with big bones. Let Grandpa smell this flavor. Grandpa just takes a deep breath. He had a solid bite. The bun is stuffed with meat. Got to see if he's willing to pay that. The soup at sunset can't be that good. Don't overcharge during the sunset hour. Catch a glimpse of that. The activities keep flowing. Grandpa just sat down. With a steamed red-hot beef bun. Yost reached the front. The big red bun is perfectly placed. The bright red sauce is thick on top. 6 big pieces of spicy beef piled high. Green cilantro and golden garlic are all over it. Grandpa's eyes are shining. He can't wait to take a big bite. In an instant, his eyes lighten up. The soft beef melts in your mouth. Just a single bite brings it all together. The meat soup is thick and rich. Let's drink another bowl. The flavor is very rich. Going back, every part of me feels fulfilled. In the end, he came for a bowl. Sipping broth leisurely. Just relaxing. Perfect with a big bowl. That smells heavenly. Grandpa can't stop chatting. Bite the head off the dumpling. A few people watching around the entrance. Looking at Grandpa enjoying a big bowl. One familiar sight settles in. Each one can't help but drool. Grandpa is hands down the best. That's what they call a delicious feeling. One more big bite puts on a show. It's made it look easy. This bun has way more value. Stronger than any eating establishment. This spoon. Like a smooth rock floating on calm water. People continue to flock around. With one wave, 5 guests step forward. The original clean little shop is suddenly busy. Generally, the heavy guy at the front is asking for it. Check out this bun. One hand lifts up and scoops a bowl. He looks annoyed and tosses a bun to the counter. Eyes red from waiting. At sunset in the back, it gets busy. Feeling happy inside, he suddenly smiles. Around lunchtime, the truck groans under the big load. Wearing deep blue work uniforms. Like a wave crashing back. Most people still uphold the front of the house. Or the surrounding pack pushes on. But there are also early birds taking a break. Gradually leading to the dining area over here. It said the new red meat bun is just right. Won't they feel good without eating? Just at this moment. The sound of my scooter echoes. The crowd moves to one side. Just seeing one scooter going through. Loudly pushing along. Reading with the mountainous gear. A middle-aged man with glasses. Trust quality over quantity. Just look at it leading the way. The person behind is just a young man. Holding a noodle bowl in hand. Someone has recognized him. Isn't that the manager So? Manager So is a hand from Unseen Mechanical Factory. The busy dragon doesn't see its tail. How did he ride the bus to this little noodle shop entrance today? The bus stopped steadily at the noodle shop entrance. Manager So got off the bus. He adjusted his clothes. He raised his head and looked at that red banner. Is this the shop that just opened in the morning? This morning, they just served a customer at the entrance. Raising his head, he saw that corner was also a bit crowded. The young man next to him took a step forward to open the door. The red banner is hanging down. 8 golden characters stand out boldly. Very. Manager So took a step forward. Tightly holding onto the phone at the entrance. It said the red star is Unseen Mechanical Factory's manager So. 2 days ago, he helped that girl from the riverbank. It's just the morning. A is here to express gratitude. This door is also a bit tight. The crowd is discussing in whispers. They said the morning is the manager's girl. This morning, the family has to deliver. The big fat man in front. The eyes looking at him are almost bulging out. The tea bowl in hand fell to the ground with a sound. A dropped a bowl. This morning. Contrary to expectations. Originally, that girl from the riverbank is called Seninga. She is still the manager's girl. A casually mentioned that situation. Whoever sees it will be shocked. No matter what big deal. Manager So feels uneasy. A said the morning is the one who is hardworking. To them, it might be a matter of life and death. A said Seninga is spoiled. A spent 2 days at home. This morning just left the house and told him about this. It's not that the body is still not good. It's not good to come and thank. A said. Manager So has taken 2 bags from the young man. Delivering to the morning. A said it's a bit of a small intention. Taiwan sound machine. There are still some Eastern-style hand signs. In this year. The sound machine and the Eastern-style hand signs are absolutely solid. This one comes out. It's just a few hundred bags of big gifts. This morning, I want to promote. Back looking at Manager Joe's determined attitude. You know the promotion won't be missed. It's a big deal. Manager So looked at the shop. He said it's good that he also praised. Let the morning give them 2 bowls of red-hot beef noodles. He also skillfully handled it. This sentence comes out. The people around are even more shocked. Manager So not only came to give gifts. He still need to be self-sufficient in this noodle shop. This little one gives too much. The big fat man over there looks like he's going to explode. The 5 officials of the lady are all in a mess. At noon, this side. The name of the noodle shop is calculated to be a bit of a mess. The face of the noodle shop. Real material. The meat is too flavorful. This sentence sounds like a long leg. In the workers' meats, it has spread. After 2 or 3 o'clock. Past the meal point. The shop is slightly cooler. Finally can breathe. It took off his jacket. Gave the fire a change of pot. And gave himself a cup of water. This morning was surprisingly busy. But in my heart, there was a sense of joy. Looking at the little coin purse filled with money. Slowly, a thick layer of fog began to settle. It felt a surge of energy throughout his body. Suddenly, a loud call came from outside the door. It was a delivery from the construction country. He was heading towards the store with a full load of goods. It was talking with a casual tone. Just then, Old One was chatting with him. The Red Star machine factory nearby was bustling. So, the manager, was coming to the store. So was asking about the morning. Was it not busy at noon? So was comparing the business at noon. It was a private visit. This time, it was a formal visit. Riding a bike, he still had to knock on the door. It said it was to deliver the order. Everyone knew about it. It was saying. Far away, there was a sudden surge of activity. The doorbell rang. A fierce competition. The originally quiet street suddenly became lively. The Red Star machine factory's big door opened, facing the people riding bikes. A group of people came out. A new bright sun was being installed on the bike. So was wearing a thick coat. It was wearing a red flower. The red light was shining brightly. Next to him was a young girl with a book. In his hand was that shiny delivery. Behind him was a few workers from the factory. And a large group of people watching the excitement. This side was busier than last year. Facing the money, he remembered the restaurant. The big guy was still working hard. It was suddenly hit by this activity. He squinted his eyes. He ran out to take a look. At that moment, he looked dazed. That group of people was lively. They were directly heading to the restaurant. The group stopped at the restaurant. So was getting off the bike. The star of the big flow was walking to the front of the restaurant. That smile on his face. Compared to seeing the child, it was even more delightful. He tightly held the hand of the child. His voice was bright, saying it was a formal thank you. Thank you for the morning. It helped him and his girlfriend. However, this formal occasion. He still had to say it again. This is a statement to the hero. It is also a statement to the factory. The morning also matched. A face full of confidence, saying this is what he should do. So was changing his clothes. Facing the crowd. He loudly said that in 2 days, he would bring his girlfriend to the water. The situation was urgent. It was a morning of unity. Jumping into the cold river to save people. This kind of courage is a spiritual value. He got the full factory worker training. So's voice echoed with a hot tone. The construction country was listening. The bicycle was tightly held. The hat on his head was smiling. At that moment, So smiled brightly. This bike of his didn't have that much shine. So was holding a pen. The book was tightly held. Seeing the courage. The brand of high quality is under the sunlight. The morning was heavy, passing the delivery. Standing in the most visible position in the store. At this moment, So was sitting behind the bike. He took down a big box. He said to remove the delivery. This is a bit of heart between him and ENG. The entrance was collecting. There was still a piece of Eastern table. Chinyo's body still wasn't good. Specifically, let him speak. What for him to get better? He needs to come and express his gratitude. A chilling voice echoed around. The entrance collects the equipment from the eastern side. This set is coming down. Don't say it, you might get 400 or 500 bills. I managed to gather the resources of a common worker for a year. The big guy looked at me with red eyes. In the morning, I saw that same eastern side. My heart is also slightly startled. This week, the factory manager's handwriting is really big. It hasn't shown too much of a surplus. It's still a style of a nonchalant person. Saying this eastern side is too expensive. Can't collect the factory manager's board to raise the face. The factory's gas must be collected. If you don't collect, you won't see him. Someone said this is a reward for the hero. Receiving it without any resentment. Everyone says this is on the rise. The morning is no longer so clear. The big side has collected it down. Sending the gift, the factory manager has no intention to leave. He looked at the surrounding crowd getting more and more. A blink of an eye. Suddenly raised the door and said he was good, he also got praised. At noon, that bowl still hasn't been eaten. Let the morning give him another bowl. This time needs to add 2 pieces of meat. This statement comes out. Originally, it was just a crowd watching the heat. The factory manager suddenly changed. The factory manager not only sends gifts. He still needs to leave some food. And also still is in the guest center. At lunch but still not enough. In the afternoon, still needs to eat. This statement means that the restaurant is really good. In the morning, the heart leads the god. This factory manager is giving him a big advertisement. He hurriedly took the factory manager and several staff to enter the shop. The factory manager walked to the back. One side called out to the workers around. Saying everyone should not be angry. Everyone came in one by one. In the morning, the same is not only good for people. The craftsmanship is even more unique. That red roasted beef is definitely good. There is a factory manager with a head. Those is still in sight, which worker can still bear it. At the time, the restaurant's entrance was bustling. Everyone was fighting to go in. In the morning, the restaurant is really good. Castily coming out to maintain the ranking. The big guy in front is looking at this sheet. The heart is also a bit cold. In the restaurant, the fire is rising in the morning. In the morning, behind the counter, the hands are not dry. 40 big pots at the same time start the fire. The soup of the boiled surface is fragrant. The water vapor rises, filling the entire shop. Calling out this voice to him. Does anyone want to clean the table? Does anyone want 2 big bowls of red roasted beef? The process is still busy. But the hands below don't stop. The system's divine skill of pulling the surface. Let him be like a fish getting water. Every bowl is divided into 10 portions. Quality control is perfect. Outside the big shop. The factory manager eats with full head. It took off the outer layer of the west. The sleeves are rolled up. Unconsciously, the shape is holding a big bowl. One side eats, one side comments on this side. This meat enters the taste. This bowl is too much compared to the restaurant. The workers around are listening to the factory manager's comments. Eating is even more fragrant. Does anyone say it's really good? This hairpin is worth it. Does anyone say before how it didn't happen? In the morning, this little one still has this hand. It still has someone saying. After that, it will be confirmed this family. That big guy over there doesn't eat. This saying has reached Lu Xianguo's ears. It feels like he's drowning. Busy until at least 5 o'clock. The horn from Dongxin mechanical factory echoed. This wave is hot. The temperature just dropped a bit. The morning's accumulated fatigue is almost unbearable. But he sees Lu's noodle bowl filled to the brim with tickets. His face is all smiles. Today, the light is just right to sell 1,200 bowls. Except for the cost. It earned 7 or 800 yuan. This is 1985. It earned 7 or 800. It's a day that seems unimaginable. It sent off the last wave of customers. Lu Xianguo and Sang Xulan are sitting on the edge. But the two pupils' eyes are bright. Sang Xulan's little heart is racing, wondering how much he earned today. The sound is a bit overwhelming. The morning saw Lu's noodle bowl overturned on the table. A big pile of empty bowls spilled out. It formed a small mountain. It smiled and said, "Today was a blast." Lu Xianguo watched that pile of bowls. With a hand that was shaking, he reached out to touch it. His eyes were filled with tears. It said, "Good job, my boy." It had a plate of pork. Everything is a bit tough. Where have you seen such a prosperous noodle shop? The morning saw Lu's noodle bowl collected. It just started. They need to turn Lu's noodle shop into a full-fledged restaurant. Even the best restaurant in the city. A family is happily enjoying their meal. Suddenly, a voice came from outside. Is there still a face? The morning looked up. Only saw the door returning to a well-dressed figure. A woman in a torn dress. The woman looked very elegant. Holding a painting board. There are some bad intentions behind. The morning felt a bit uneasy. This woman looks a bit mature. She hasn't waited for him to react. Suddenly, So Mingjuan stood up. His face was filled with joy. He asked how he got here. Isn't they letting him stay at home? Originally, this is Seninja. The morning was just a bit too much. That day, the sky was too dark. Then he added a bit of water and wiped his head. He couldn't see clearly. Now just look. This woman is really not bad. There is a certain literary quality of that era. Seninja walked into the store. First, So Mingjuan smiled. He smiled and said he was at home. Listening to the second uncle coming in. Just want to take a look. Conveniently thank him for saving his life. He said his gaze fell on Seninja. That moment. The two people's line of sight intersected in the air. Seninja had some messy hair. Back very quickly, she raised it. Big steps walked to Seninja. He reached out and said she was Seninja. Thank you for saving him. Seninja looked at him. In a skirt, she pulled it off. Only then did he hold on. The moment he touched her, Seninja felt a warmth. He smiled, pointing to the kitchen behind. He asked her to come. He said to cook noodles. A special clean point. Suitable for sick people to eat. Seninja's eyes lit up. It's a bit too cute. Watching the morning light shift behind the kitchen. Seninja's eyes sparkled with curiosity and intrigue. This guy helped her and also made a good impression. It seems like a mix of rumors and that unlearned blend. Not too similar. The sound of the kitchen is filled with sizzling and clattering. Seninja found a spot by the window. Calmly waiting for that special dish. The morning is bustling in the back kitchen. What is Seninja doing? The red braised beef noodles are too rich. It's definitely not suitable for someone with a big appetite. A spark of brilliance in the middle of the sea. Thinking of the new big gift bag. Accompanied by that exquisite old-fashioned sour dish. This sour dish is a mother sauce from the system. Sour and refreshing. And it's not too intense. The most suitable for someone with a weak stomach. Just make a bowl of sour noodle soup. The morning hand-cut noodles are a bit delicate. Using a little bit of flour to thicken the broth. Add a bit of bottom oil. Slide the noodles into the pot. Then add some chili oil. Put in the finely chopped spicy ingredients. The finely chopped sour dish goes in next. The refreshing sour taste lingers in the kitchen. This flavor is nothing like the pungent kind that hits your nose. Instead, it's a warm blend. With a hint of sour aroma. The light is fragrant, and the mouth begins to water. Add more broth. After cooking, stir it a bit. Then slide the well-cooked noodles back. Finally, add the finely chopped toppings. Not more than 5 minutes. The bowl is steaming. The pale yellow noodles come out of the pot. The morning still holds on to a hint of a spicy egg pancake. The egg is yellow and fluffy. Looking at it, it just makes one hungry. The morning brings the noodles to Seninja's front. This is the sour noodle soup. Opening the bowl, Seninja sees this bowl of noodles. Her eyes lit up. It has been cooking for 2 days. The mouth feels bitter. What a surprise to not want to eat. This bowl of noodles is coming up. That bowl of refreshing sour taste. Yost let him hold back the urge to spit it out. He picked up the bowl. First, he took a sip. The sourness spread out. Sour and delightful. That sour taste. He suddenly woke up from his slumber, tightly holding on to the essence of the broth and the noodles. Not a bit greasy. On the contrary, it feels warm. Especially comforting. He picked up a bowl of noodles. The noodles are slippery. The bowl is full of broth. Sipping a bit more. The mouth is left with fragrance. Seninja can't help but smile. This is better than what his mother made. The surrounding chef is amazed. He has already eaten a big bowl of red braised beef noodles. This smells like this bowl of sour flavor. He suddenly feels a bit spicy. His eyes are wide open. Looking at it, it's not bad. Seninja smiles and asks him. Is it not edible? He gave him another bowl. The chef smiles and nods. He said not to eat too quickly. Next time, definitely make this one. Seninja eats very gracefully. But the speed is not slow. Not once did he leave the bowl. Even that egg pancake was eaten by him. He put down a lot of red sauce on his face. A layer of thick gravy also emerged on the top. He pulled out a piece of meat and chewed it. Looking at the morning's excitement filled his heart. They say that morning is not just about helping people. It's also about being a chef. Director So is nearby. He said, this is a skill. Going to the provincial city to open a restaurant is quite a challenge. The voices of the two people arguing are not small. Other customers in the restaurant have noticed. Someone said that Director Zhou and the university students are both chefs. That can still be fake. There are still people saying, this little girl really is a hidden treasure. Originally, it was just the workers coming to help Director Zhou. This underdog is being supported by the morning skills. Everyone eats completely without rushing. A circle of morning questions east and west. Is there anyone asking who learned this skill from him? Is there anyone asking if tomorrow will open the door or not? I want to bring my wife and kids to come. Is there anyone asking if this sour dish can be sold alone? I want to buy something to take back for lunch. The morning smiled back in response. The atmosphere is lively. There isn't even a single table. It told everyone to relax. As long as everyone loves to eat, it is definitely going to be successful. Tomorrow's opening will have fewer dishes. After that, he will do more to ensure everyone's safety. This wave is mutual. Directly pushing the atmosphere of the restaurant to the peak. The restaurant's front has a big fat man. Looking at the restaurant's entrance, there are groups of people. Looking again at his own restaurant, there are 2 or 3 small cats. The air's pressure has dropped. He bit his lip, thinking. This little girl is definitely going to give people a ghostly experience. Can't let him get too comfortable. You need to think of a way. It's late at night, time to hit the road. The morning's accumulated energy can't be lifted. The construction of the country and Sang Xianlan is currently in the money. Both of their hands have a bit of tension. Sang Xianlan's excited voice has changed. He said today he won 128 pieces. This is the total cost for the family for 3 months. The morning smiled. This is also among his predictions. Today is the week of Director Sou's activity. Adding the previous 2 days, accumulated points. Explosions are inevitable. He calmly said this money is still there. First, take care of the outside. There are still many points of meat and noodles to be added tomorrow. He looked at this attitude. Tomorrow's people will definitely be more. The construction of the country is now listening to the morning's calculation. He explained the situation early. He will go to the meat joint to give the children the best beef. This night, the restaurant people sleep well. The morning is on the bed but can't sleep. He opened the system interface and took a look. The system shows his score has reached 580. Rating for the small famous chef. The task has been completed. The reward is waiting to be collected. Food safety points. The morning's heart is moving. This is a good thing. The biggest fear of cooking is food safety issues. There are these fun things. After that, going to buy vegetables is not afraid of being caught. A intends to move. Collect the reward. Yost feel a little sleepy. It seems like something has entered. Looking again at the 4 weeks. Still that dark little room. But the feeling of visibility seems to be clearer. The morning's heart is full of determination. Deciding to try this new skill tomorrow. The second day is a big morning. The morning's example went to the meat joint. Yost stepped through the big door. That kind of bloody taste relies on old-fashioned noodles. Early morning starts with food inspection. The spotlight shines on a piece of meat. A miraculous turn of events has occurred. All he needs is to stare at a chunk of meat for over 3 seconds. Right in front of him, a tiny character will float out. The system informs him. This piece is just ordinary pork. Remember, 3 minutes before the kill. New freshness is good. That piece is old mother pork. Meat quality is mediocre. If it has an unusual taste, don't buy it. In the early morning, there's a burst of excitement. This is simply outside hanging. A walks one way, looking one way. Quickly, he secures a few good meat cuts. Not a few cuts are recognized as early morning. Yesterday, the morning market had an explosion. Everyone is talking. The early morning arrives at a corner stall. Here, a few pieces are hanging. It looks like a cow skull that doesn't catch the eye. On top, there's no shortage of meat. System prompt. This is premium beef. Bone and marrow is rich. Meat quality is mediocre. Remember, 1 minute before the kill. New freshness is top-notch. Say yes buying a. Early morning questions old man. How do you sell this piece of bone? The main seller is an old man with a beard. You see someone asking about the bone. There are some not so good intentions. Saying this bone is too bland. It's all about the talk. 2 strands of hair are pulled away. 2 strands are simply white and shiny. Early morning is a quick cash grab. I'll must be done at this time. The big guy also strolled by. He holds a bag. Also here to buy meat. Not more than he specializes in those cheap buys. Early morning eyeshadow. Seeing the big guy is currently with a meat seller. Calculating still costs. This piece of pork looks red and fresh. Keep it fresh and affordable. Only 8 strands. The big guy happily pays. Early morning recognizes the food inspection eye. It took a look. At glance. System prompt. That's a question about pork. Pork belly. Contains toxic elements. The inspection time is last night. Definitely not fresh. Strictly prohibited for consumption. This big guy is here for a bargain. I actually bought this kind of meat. This is for the customers. It's about to cost someone's life. Early morning can't help but remind. The big guy looks at the meat, not too eager. That meat color has some freshness. The big guy's voice is the sound of the early morning. I raised his eyes. Sighing about what he wants. Is he thinking of letting him not buy? Then he buys back himself. Not you all. Sighing the big guy quickly paid. Pointing at that piece of pork. Like grabbing a treasure. Ran a distance. Shook his head. Feeling chilly and smiling. Good words are hard to come by. That dead ghost. This big guy is already looking for death. That's just bizarre, isn't it? Let's head back to the restaurant to prepare the ingredients. Today, he's particularly excited about a bowl of beef bone soup. That piece of premium beef bone is definitely going in. The soup color is changing to a richer white. It's noon. Under the Hongqing mechanical factory, the Red Star machine is running. It seems like the ingredients are coming in like the morning dew. Today's business is still booming compared to yesterday. In the restaurant, 6 tables are basically not enough. Quite a few workers are lining up at the entrance to eat. The morning rush is behind the counter. There is no time to sip water during the busy hours. Sang Xiaolan is running in front, not breaking a sweat. The entire construction site has been caught up in a big tea. At the back, the busy staff is washing the bowls. It's just that time. A little shadow is carrying a small tray, sitting at the most conspicuous position at the restaurant entrance. Is it the morning dew? The little girl today is wearing a new outfit with a bit of flair. Holding 2 sheep horns. In her hand, she carries a larger bowl than her face. The bowl is specifically reserved for her. A small portion of red roasted beef. The little girl is calling out for a snack. Eating a bowl of noodles. You still have to express a satisfied sound to show it's delicious. Really good, that little bowl of fragrant noodles. The atmosphere is lively. Everyone is simply bustling through. Especially those female workers. Each mother loves to spoil. Can't help but stop and ask. Asking the little girl if she eats well. The big sister is passing the bowl over. There are indeed some things that can't be avoided. But still, very polite. Saying it's good to eat, let the older sister eat too. This little girl is making everyone laugh. Saying that this little girl is so lovable. Also, you should go and eat a bowl. The morning dew has unintentionally become a lively restaurant. It's really a big wave of customers. The morning dew is really sharp. My heart is filled with warmth. Thinking about giving the little girl some chicken feet. This is really a proper meal. Rushing to the next table. The high peak of the morning rush has passed. The morning dew is looking at the tired mothers at the table. I still have to eat a bit. Really busy at the table, hitting the sleepy little girl. My heart is filled with warmth. It gives them a cup of water. Saying it's tough. The morning dew has taken a big gulp. Used smiling, only seeing the mouth but not the eyes. Saying it's tough. Looking at this corn rolling in. It is really strong. It's just that time. Outside the door, a horn sound from a passing vehicle. The morning dew lifts her head. It turns out to be a clean and elegant girl. Not more than this, he is a person coming. It changed into a deep blue outfit. With a painting board on his back. The sunlight is shining on him, showing a clean and fresh look. The elegant girl is at the door, asking if the morning dew is done. The morning dew is wiping her hands, inviting her to go out, saying it's done, asking if she is feeling good. The elegant girl smiles and says it's good, more than that bowl of sour noodles. It pulled out a delicate pen from his bag, passing it to the morning dew, saying that the second brother sent something from the east. This is a bit of his heart. Let him not refuse. The morning dew takes a look. It's a golden star pen. In this year, this is also considered a waste of resources. Seninja's elegant demeanor is striking. He says he won't accept it. It's just that he despises him. This gift is too light. Luchen is speechless. He can only accept it. He says it's good to remember the account after a good meal. Seninja sees him accepting it. The smile on his face has become more intense. Seninja walks away. Entering the restaurant, he quickly prepares a batch. Then he takes the drawing board off his back to support it on the table. He says the restaurant is surprisingly lively. But on the counter, the dishes that were supposed to be served are missing. It seems a bit empty. A is studying art design. A doesn't want them to draw a promotional poster on the wall. It definitely attracts more people. Luchen listens. His eyes are bright. This is a professional matter. A can't just casually ask for it. Seninja also doesn't include any flaws. The drawing paper starts to take shape. Luchen looks at the style he's focusing on. The sunlight shines through the window onto his side face. The small strands of hair are clearly visible. A gently brushes his hair. His eyes are clear and sincere. The brush in his hand lightly strokes the paper. This moment is filled with the aroma of delicious food. It seems to be a peaceful and beautiful scene. A looks around, suddenly feeling some inspiration. No words can express it. He asks what he wants to draw. Seninja's head also doesn't shake when she speaks. A makes the noodles in a way that attracts the most handsome men. It definitely attracts many female customers. A says he seems to recognize himself saying what. His face turns red. Luchen also blushes. In his heart, there's a bit of sweetness when he talks about that painting. A goes to give him a bit of a drink. Then he enters the kitchen. At this moment, the money on the table is also a bit awkward. The big fat man is about to break that piece of meat. He prepares to make the meat dish. A presses the meat on one side. One side is a bit messy. A waits for this special meat dish to be served. A looks at who still goes to eat the morning noodles. Seninja's promotional poster is up on the second day. The effect is directly visible. The drawing on the morning is wearing a white skirt. It's completely a divine challenge. The background is a hot air of rising steam. The aroma of beef can waft through the air. The delicious beef noodles. It can definitely attract many customers. The side uses beautiful words to write a large character, delicious. Luchen's heart is full of anticipation. The red braised beef noodles are not just delicious. It's even more emotional. This year's head. The small restaurant on the street has never seen such a lively scene. Every family is riding a red banner for a price. Luchen directly took out the seafood to see the feeling. Lunch point. The Red Star Machine Factory's shift whistle sounds. The workers are simply 100 meters sprint. Going to the nearby restaurant. Someone is shouting to go late. Someone says, "You want to go to see that beautiful art student?" Not more than 10 minutes. The restaurant is completely full. The small board at the entrance is also being illuminated. The window platform is filled with people. Luchen is busy with the remaining shadows. The water in the pot has not stopped boiling. That piece of meat is in his hand, flipping it over. In front of the big platform, Lu Xiangbo is still busy with his hands. But the smile on his face is like a flower. There are too many people to avoid. Some female workers are still lingering at the entrance. The smell of soup wafts through the air. It's happening right now. Ling Feng has just appeared with her little tray. The little girl has changed into a pink outfit today. She's wearing a pair of two-tone shoes. She isn't afraid of life. She's sitting on the steps at the entrance, holding that special big bowl. The bowl. It's the special version of the beef noodles she left for her. The noodles are cut short. The beef is tender and juicy. The soup isn't that spicy. Ling Feng is grabbing the little spoon. She's stirring a bowl of creamy beef. The broth is clear and soft. Sang Dabei takes a sip. The little girl's cheeks are high. The little girl is enjoying it. That's called a specialty. Next to her is a proper female worker. Looking at Ling Feng's style. My heart is about to melt. I can't help but feel that this little girl is too cute. Ling Feng hears someone talking. She raises her head and still holds a little sign. With a hint of sweetness, that sister says it's delicious. The meat is fragrant. She finishes and lowers her head to take a sip, still giving a satisfied hum. She says it's delicious. This sound is simply delightful. It's a sign of divine inspiration. A few female workers can't help but linger. Someone says, look at this girl eating. Sis already full. Someone is calling out. Sis also got to eat a bowl. This little girl looks like a strong little iron. Sis originally calculating how to get others to join. Everyone is drawn in. Ling Feng is listening to the outside noise. The corner of her mouth is slightly raised. Sis thinking about how to make this delicious dish. Placed in the back, eats 1,000 red networks. This is noon. Ling's restaurant looks like a battlefield. After 2 o'clock. The crowd finally disperses. Ling Feng sits on the stool. The spicy aroma can't be ignored. But she sees that bag of meat in the corner. The inside has already been covered. Sang Xialan's hand is still on the table. She just finished a big bowl. A lively announcement from Ling Feng. Today at noon, the surface sold for over 300 bowls. Tell them this is about to make money. Ling Feng opened a big mouth. She wiped the broth off her face. Sighing, this isn't enough. The capacity is too low. You want to negotiate to expand or add tables. At this moment, the road is facing. The big fat man is sitting in the cold clean restaurant. Holding a half bowl of soup. The eyes are dead set on Ling's restaurant. That section of new promotional painting. The eyes are almost red. Sis thinking. Sang's painting can attract so many people. There is also that dead girl. Sitting at the entrance eating. The big fat man's head is hitting the ground. Using chopsticks. Is looking at his own bowl. Leaving a big half of the sign that hasn't been sold. And looking at that corner. Yesterday's special meat dish was good. In her heart, that stock is too much. Is dark under pressure. Still can't get through. Just follow Ling Feng. Price. Want to see that group of workers. What exactly is love? Still, love is precious. The second day, early morning. The sky is just starting to brighten. Dawn breaks as the self-driving car heads to the agricultural market. Life is getting better. The demand for ingredients is getting higher. Yesterday, that piece of beef. It's not enough to sell. Today, I need to get more supplies. Just entered the market. The main road is busy. Only catch a glimpse of the clear sky. The visual line changes instantly, becoming exceptionally clear. It looks towards a vegetable stall nearby. That stall is up. You can actually see it's a selection from yesterday afternoon. The surface of the meat looks slightly moist. The freshness is quite good. The heart of the road is in a frenzy. After this, who else can still catch him? It pushes the cart straight into the meat section. There are these two pairs of discerning eyes. The whole meat market in his eyes is simply transparent. Down walks down one road, driving down another. Finally, stops at a corner that doente catch the eye. The old man at this corner is a sickly old butcher. Also doente drink. The meat on the stall looks a bit greasy. But at dawn, one glance shows this is a farmer's yellow beef. Today, at 4 in the morning. The meat quality is tight, no need for water. The freshness is extremely superior. Down quickly points to that big piece of meat. And a few large bones. Say it all has to. The old man is a bit grumpy. Saying this piece of meat looks a bit dry. Should I take another look at that side? It's a bit warm. Down says not to use. Just need this piece of meat. Saying it's a bit overcooked. The old man is happy. Saying it's a skillful act. Conveniently, at dawn, this side just finished the meat. Correctly preparing the money. Suddenly, hearing the sound coming from behind, a voice pricing still pricing. That voice is too familiar. Down is wearing a black apron. Dawn turns back to look. It's definitely a big fat man. Big fat man. Correctly positioned in front of a specialized stall. Following the stall owner in that corner. Looking at him. In the heart, a bit gloomy. Only seeing the big fat man holding that big chunk of meat. Red and white in between. On top. Is still hanging a big white color hanging. This big fat man is for the province. Actually bought this kind of meat for people to eat. That stall owner seems to be in a hurry to let go. This pile of trash. 5 strands of hair all given to him. Big fat man occupies a convenient spot. Putting that big chunk of meat into a black bag. Also particularly using a few pieces of good fat meat on top. Pulling him a little. Just right. Hitting the dawn's cold light. Big fat man jumped once. Under the intention of hiding the black bag behind him. Immediately also jumped up to ask him what to look at. Down coldly laughed once. Sighing to buy meat, he saw. Buying poison is still the first time seeing. Asking big fat man what fun is for people to eat. Big fat man's face changed. There are some heartless. But the mouth does not swallow people. Sighing to take back that dog. Down points to a corner of blood. A fight is also going to break to make a meat stall. Cheering the workers who don't know the situation. Big fat man seems to be stepped on the tail of a cat. Humping on the big fat man. Down bloodmouth slaps people. Sighing to walk with a glance. Donny. Following that, the group of people with that greasy meat will run. At down, I see his shadow. The air is gradually cooling down. It's just a business rivalry. Every detail matters. But the big guy is still playing with this kind of ridiculous hand. That's why it's not charming. Returning to the restaurant. The rat doesn't match what Dad suggested. Afraid of their burden. It's just more focused on handling the ingredients. The bones are broken. Showing off the tender meat. Beef slices. Going for the blood. At down, I see that premium beef noodle. There is a main idea in my heart. Next, ENG clean up. That sour noodle dish is definitely going to open my appetite. But it's definitely clean. This time, he wants to use that good meat. To make a truly authentic hard dish. Returning to the restaurant, that big sister with the brush is also drawing. At the o'clock. The side dish work is finished. The route is now in a mess. The entrance brings a light sound of footsteps. Ibe come to clean up. She hasn't been painted today. Wearing a white dress. Below is a beef wrap. Showing a fresh and bright eye. Still holding a net. We's a few apples. At down, holding hands to walk out. The air carries a few familiar responsibilities. Asking her how she also brought the east and west. Again, this way, I can't let her enter. Holding a bright eye. Sighing this is not for her. It's for the little girl. She takes. The apple is still playing with the stones at the entrance. Asking her if she likes it. The little girl is holding a big apple. The water must flow down. The milk voice says she likes it. Thank you, beautiful sister. Looking at this big little interactive warm painting. At down, a piece of soft land is softened. Cleaning up. The eyes are bright and clear. Telling her a good message. That painting was seen by the school teacher. The teacher says this kind of hand-drawn style is very creative. Is still showing her lively atmosphere. At dawn, smiling and saying that's her painting. Indeed, she came. Good and good, says developing new products. Also a face. At down, saying to her. Especially for her, this painting's function is prepared. It turned and entered the kitchen. This time he made a clean beef noodle. Different from the red oil. This face is talking about a pure word. The premium beef noodle only adds a bit of green onion and a few flower petals. The little fire slowly cooks for a short time. Directly to the meat quality. The beef is separated. The color is clean. But beautiful and incomparable. The face is a special surface. After cooking, it's gone through a cold water. Even more pleasant. At down, pulling the face into the bowl. Adding 2 long beef slices on top. Again, adding a bit of original soup. Holding a few slices of ginger and green onion. The bowl is extremely beautiful. At down, looking at the bowl with those 2 slices. A few are occupying the whole bowl's big beef. There are some surprises. Asking about this big route. Hand him a piece of paper. Say, use your hands to grab the food. Seninja has some bad intentions. But that piece of meat is really too tempting. It has a little heart that beats wildly at the sight of a bone. Just a light bite. The meat quality is soft and tender, beyond imagination. Just one sip and it melts away. The original beef flavor explodes in the mouth. There are no excessive seasonings. It's just pure meat flavor. Drink another mouthful. The fragrant aroma wafts. Seninja closed her eyes. Seeing a statue. A little yellow cow running on the grass. Waiting for the dawn. Ask how it is. Seninja opened her eyes. In the eyes of the gods, it's all about the taste. Say it's too delicious. Ask if the dawn is just a food stall. It feels that the main dish of the big restaurant has no competition. The dawn thickens the skin, smiling at the sky. Purely heavenly. Just at the right moment for the 2 of us. Suddenly, a loud sound of a door slamming comes. Still accompanied by a high-pitched scream. Going to the front of the shop for a big round. Red-hot beef noodles drop in price. Add quantity, not price. Just 4 noodles. 4 noodles can eat a large piece of meat. Walk past the road, don't make a mistake. Down's head is a little heavy. Seninja also put down the burden in her hands. Seninja asked, this is a price battle with him. Down walked to the door and took a look. Only see the money record at the door. Holding a huge red paper. Writing on it are 2 large characters. A big fat man is standing on the counter. Holding a big spoon. In that voice, the strong drink calls for a sip. The taste is better than expected. Who doesn't go, who is the fool? Around, not few workers hear this price. All stopped walking. Is anyone surprised? 4 noodles are so convenient. Is there anyone saying the dawn is just 6 noodles? Conveniently, 2 noodles can buy half a bowl. Originally, the time was to flow to the Don restaurant. Suddenly, really divided a big half day. Went to face. Sang Xulan hurried to the store to directly step on the foot. Big fat man wants to win the battle. Holding them tightly. Cuatro noodles can't be enough. It was shocked to see the intense scene. The gods are strangely calm. Even bringing a bit of coldness. Thought of it. Early in the market, seeing that bowl of dripping beef. Down wants to rush out to fight. Say, don't rush the big fat. It's because of its low cost that the thought doesn't reach. Sang Xulan didn't hear clearly. Ask what it means. Down doesn't say that. Dripping beef fears the bad heart of the parents. It's just a simple saying that there are some things that are not good. What they do is good-hearted buying. Can't compare with those who are so heartless. Let him see. Those who are greedy to go. Early and late get behind. Seninga looks at the Don. This side has a successful appearance. The burden in the heart is a famous distraction. Ask him if he has the ability to pay the big bill. Down turns to look at him. Dast, of course. Not too much. Maybe he needs to help busy drawing something more meaningful. Seninga asks what it is. Down says draw a pig meat structure diagram. What exactly is the special dish being prepared? Seninga is still a bit tipsy. But look at those determined eyes. It's still a crucial turning point. Yost say he helped her paint. At this moment, the big guy is feeling the money. Looking at the crowd coming into the shop. Smiling with a face full of fat meat, all in a rush. He knows he must use price to crush them. He completely didn't notice the morning. He is now giving himself a good shake. At the entrance of Gongxin Mechanical Factory, the big red star is shining. He was startled by the big guy's loud voice. The big guy also doesn't know where he came from. He made a big fuss about a beef noodle soup. Standing in front of the family restaurant, a long line is forming. Holding a sign that says only 4 big bowls of beef noodles. Add more, don't raise the price. Don't miss the road when you walk by. The big guy remembers the family restaurant's big bowl of noodles. The workers are getting ready to eat the beef noodles. A is wearing a big red sign behind him. The soup is still boiling down. That big bowl has 2 big letters like 2 big bowls. A is really blocking the eyes of the workers. This is the time for early shift workers to enter. Originally, they were all holding the big bowls of noodles. These will all be drawn in by this movement. A stopped. A girl in blue work clothes is at that intersection. This year, the big family in the village has no money. 1 bowl of noodles is not enough to get 2 half bowls. The price difference is too great. There is an old worker who is suspicious of the big guy. This meat is really fake. Don't just give a little bit, they will hit them. The big guy is listening. A jumped down from the sign. The pork is all in a rush. Taking a picture, he says the big guy's actions are real. Pointing to the shop, that bowl just came out. Let everyone see. Saying it's real meat. A is not like some people. Wearing a bit of a name tag. It's all in the street. A doesn't cheat that black-hearted guy. That bowl of meat is looking at the red. Greasy. Chapped and broken. On top, still covered with thick red chili oil. Looking at the portion, it's definitely not small. That old worker is coughing. A really wants to eat the family noodles. But he is scratching the ticket. In the end, it's still a hand signal. Going forward to the restaurant. That is the first head of the team. Being that team is still a group of workers. It's like opening the door to water. The whole crowd is rushing to the front. Originally, at this time, there should be a long line at the family restaurant. There are still some people. But clearly, compared to yesterday, it's not much. The family restaurant's air pressure is a bit tight. Sang Xulan is holding a sign of life and death. That big guy can't help but give a layer of skin. He hears the big guy's loud voice. The circle of air is all red. The big guy is not letting them live. 4 bowls of noodles are not enough. This is to take money to crush them. The family restaurant is located at the edge of the village. Holding a sign to form a big character. Ah, the storm is coming. A is trying to ask for the morning. Don't lower the price. Who is afraid of dropping 5 bowls? Otherwise, everyone will run away. The morning is now on the menu. Don't act too fast. Every time you go down, it all takes effort. Hearing the words of the father. A didn't even blink. Just say 3 words can't drop. Sang Xulan is in a hurry. They soon be at the door, facing a lot of people. The door is about to be smashed down. These cats are going to be dragged out. Let's go down there again. Not a single person will come out in 3 days. Before, the famous voice of the gambler allowed him to shine. The morning hand is moving non-stop. They say lowering prices is easy, but raising them is hard. If you lower it now, thinking about raising it again will be as hard as reaching the sky. And the cost is right there. Good beef, good bone broth. Lowering prices is just a way to lose money. Sang Xiaolan thinks it's not fair. They say a big fat gambler can't just hang around like that. Does he have a cat at home? The morning hand stops moving. A glanced at the scene of that hot competition. The corner of his mouth twitched into a cold smile. A thinks the gambler is getting more and more. The big gambler is richer than them. Sam Xiaolan is still living there. Can the gambler still make money? Unless the meat he uses is heavenly. In the morning, it's not clear if that's pork belly. It's just a vague statement, not much. There are some things that are just not good. What they do is good-hearted buying and selling. You can't compare with those kinds of heartless people. Let him see. Those who are greedy will go. Early or late, it's all the same. Is saying it clearly, coming in with a clean style. Didn't they bring a drawing board today? In his hand, is holding a few steaming hot buns. Walking in, he feels the restaurant's atmosphere is not right. Looking again at the scene of that explosion. His heart is already clear at 7 or 8 points. With a clean smile, he calls out to Sam Xiaolan. Put the bag on the table. He still hasn't eaten breakfast. He passes by smoothly. Sam Xiaolan sees it as a clean style. The blush just calms down a bit. Says let him see the smile. Sam Xiaolan walks straight to the morning side. In a low voice, he says the big gambler is enough to lose. Directly hitting the price strategy. Just passed by. Took a look at that house. It's all about dragging the greedy away. In the morning, he says go. Let Sam Xiaolan wait to help him write a new chapter. Sam Xiaolan is wondering what to write. Is the price drop known? The morning's eyes are clear. Says not to write a persistent quality. Absolutely do not use inferior meat. Besides, use the beef parts they use. What beef is it? Beef ribs. All written clearly on the wall. Sam Xiaolan's eyes are bright. Says this is a mess. This is called a strange competition. Tell everyone where they are. The route has a saying that is clear. At this moment, is heading to the front. The big gambler is busy getting a full head of sweat. Still, a bowl of noodles only costs 4. But in his heart, that beauty. Yesterday he came back from the black market. To say dozens of bowls of braised beef and corner ingredients. Only then did he spend less than 5. Broke the bowl in front. Then add a heavy seasoning to the dish. Who can eat it? Where is this profit? This is just a bluff. There is a young worker who just got a bowl. Says again to add a spicy bowl. This meat feels a bit bland. The big gambler has a bite. Sam Xiaolan is taking the big bowl and running away. And gives that person a spicy red oil. The loud voice says that's beef. Good things have a bit of spice. More spicy bowls are pressed down. That worker was hit by this spicy red oil. Looking at the red lanterns hanging in the alley. It's not good to say anything more. He just called out to eat. However, everything in my mouth is spicy. But I feel a bit uncomfortable. It's like there's some kind of sauce stuck. The Liu family noodle shop has arrived at the lunch point. However, there are fewer people. But the customers coming in are all regulars. So Mingjuan, the factory director, has a secret book. Bringing a few technicians along. As soon as I enter, I shout, all 3, red hot. The soup is clear. Sam Xiaolan welcomes me up. He asks about the secret book. Fasting that, how convenient. Why not just go straight? Little Li is so cute. A face full of disdain, saying, don't be so rude to him. Big Qian is so fat, he ate too much before. Clean the soup pot. Today, I still hear that there's a lot of meat. But he just passed by. Smelling that one knows his taste is not good. The taste is strange. It's like the meat has been left out for too long. All the spicy ingredients and seasonings are pressed. Still, the Liu family's face is relaxed. That is truly the flavor of beef oil. This statement makes Sam Xiaolan feel quite comfortable. The legs are also quite straight. That is his family. The morning sun is not bright, just go to the meat stall. That bonehead has been a bit. The morning is getting closer. Every bowl is topped with 4 or 5 large pieces of meat. The color is bright red. The aroma hits the nose. Little Li and the others are pulling back. Bite a piece of meat. The expression on the face is full of satisfaction. Saying, this is worth a penny, worth a lot. And then. Most workers are still being priced out. All day long. The door of the money-keeping restaurant must be leveled. Big Qian's number of coins is getting fewer. However, it's all just tickets and coins. But the quantity is not large. It's late in the evening, time to collect. Big Qian is particularly at the big tea stall. Wandering leisurely to the middle of the road. Saying that the Liu family noodle shop is talking. Saying that there are many people is just tiring. Not like facing each other quietly. Asking about the old man. This time sold a few bowls. Not enough to pay the phone bill. That sounds intentional. In this quiet street, it's clear to hear. Sam Xiaolan is thinking about how to take out the meat. Being built up to death. The morning is just collecting the leftovers. Hearing this, used lightly wiping the sweat off my hand. Thinking about Big Ken smiling now. After 2 days of crying, his heart is clear. Pork belly is fun. Eating 1 bowl, 2 bowls may not be a big deal. It's just a matter of pulling a belly. But it must be followed by eating. Adding more and more heat. Those that are not processed properly are already changing. The quality is counterproductive. The second day's weather suddenly rises. The heat feels like a furnace. The price battle is still ongoing. Big Kian's soul fire is exploding. The Liu family is not warm and not hot. But the anxious people have already discovered some signs. At noon, the money-keeping restaurant has come a few voices of complaint. Does anyone say how this meat has a sour taste? Does anyone say it has some flavor? Big Kian is currently counting coins. He can't believe I heard that. A little bit of a mess. What are you talking about? That's just too much to handle. The heat is really getting to them. You don't want to eat what others eat. 4 strands of noodles still want to come out with the mountain's flavor. A few disgruntled workers are being treated poorly. And they don't dare to lose. They can only stick to their heads and finish eating. It's already late. The single dormitory of Hongqing Mechanical Factory is quite shabby. The place suddenly became the most popular spot. Someone is feeling the pressure of a hungry stomach. Someone asked how to pull their stomachs. He said I ran 3 laps. It must be around noon. Just realized that the meat flavor is not right. A few workers are clutching their stomachs, lining up at the entrance. The face is a bit yellow. The whole head is just empty. Everyone is in a rush. It turns out it's all about the midday rush. He went to the noodle shop and ate 4 strands of beef noodles. And those who ate at the family restaurant. A little bit of a fragrant sleep. What is there? This message still hasn't fully spread. But it's already hot in the small area. You don't know about these things. A is currently under the lamp, teaching the little girls to recognize characters. The little girls are wearing big glasses. The question is about the face color. That old man will still attract customers tomorrow. The morning is about to grab his little hat. The eyes are deep, and they won't say it. Maru, the old man will collect him. The door outside is buzzing. A storm is about to come. This rain will not only wash away the hot day. It will also wash away the pollution on this street. The big fat man has arrived. The next 2 days. The heat feels like a big furnace. You know it's a call for life on the tree. The person called is in a dilemma. The oil road is being softened. The foot can leave a print. This kind of weather. The meat must be released. Alpha Day will change the taste. The noodle shop entrance. The old one hangs on that big red sign. But the big fat man's face. That stock is a bit too much to handle. Because say that braised beef and the side dishes are not released. Originally, it was the black market's dirty meat. And it's summer. The big fat man can't open the big stall for the ice cream. As a result, the second day, early in the morning, went to get the meat. That stock's sour and rotten taste didn't make him faint. The big fat man is holding his nose. Looking at that plate of red and white mixed meat. In my heart, I directly feel sick. He grabbed it, but I couldn't. This plate is quite a few pieces of meat. Don't grab it, this taste is too strong. It feels a bit uncomfortable. Going to the plate has half a bowl of fragrant oil. And a big piece of red pepper. You want to put more spicy powder. Then add 2 large spoonfuls of powder. Just don't believe it. In that greasy big hand, I can't help but grab it. The taste is really strong. It really has a strong flavor. Only a piece of spicy meat remains. The big fat man grinned, showing a big yellow tooth. I feel like I'm really a talent. The midday meal is just right. The workers are like flowing water. After all, these 2 days, the noodle shop has been lively. But also not before those 2 days. The family restaurant is not a fool. Eating something delicious. The body is at its best. Somewhat bloated. That special noodle was a treat. By noon, I should run 2 laps around the market. My heart is racing early in the morning. But the stall still has some appealing visuals. A few greasy workers are heading to the front of the stall. Big guys are coming to grab the noodles. More points for the win. The big guy with the chubby hands is quite handy. Putting those extra ingredients on top of the meat. A big bowl of red broth. Seeing that, I feel like a real foodie. The old worker, Master Lee, is serving up the noodles. Not much thinking involved. The slurping sound is quite loud. The noodle strands are just about to hit the bowl. Master Lee's bald head is shining. Spicy is truly spicy. The spicy broth is eye-catching. But under that spicy flavor, there's a hidden depth. It's like a hidden gem of flavor. It feels like a midnight snack. Master Lee is putting down the ladle. Asking the big guy. Is this meat bad? That's that weird taste. The big guy is making money. Listen to this. A piece of fatty meat on the plate. The big guy is saying that's the secret. Is still asking if Masterly is okay. This is the broth he just boiled. Masterly is not too enthusiastic. Using the ladle to scoop up the noodles. Don't be too picky. It's good to scoop out a portion. Pointing to a large piece of grayish-white meat. It's quite chewy. On top, there is a bit of black. Seeing it makes me feel uneasy. Masterly is taking that piece of meat out. Is this meat? A bite reveals a strange taste. Like a blend of flavors. People around are all looking at this stall. The big guy feels a bit uneasy. That play is really a bit off. Just when the meat was served, it wasn't that fresh. But is firm. Coming over to grab a piece of meat. Taking that piece of meat and making a mess. That's a bone. Is the beef really that bad? Understanding that it's not wrong to eat well. Cuatro strands of noodles still want to eat dragon meat. Masterly was just slapped. The red-faced broth is quite thick. Taking the ladle to the table. Getting up and leaving. Sain is not eating anymore. Not eating anymore, just walking away. A few co-workers at the same table are also getting up. Looking at the remaining noodles. The more I look, the more uneasy I feel. Wasn't they eaten yet? A person is walking out of the front stall. Directly facing the next stall. At this time, the next stall is still not full. But it's still seated with 7 or 8 people. There is no loud shouting. Only the sound of sucking noodles and occasional conversations. The air is filled with. It's a bowl of pure beef bone broth. This kind of flavor isn't that strong. Not pungent, just makes people feel. It feels like a real taste. Masterly is coming in. This flavor is coming from the stall. In an instant, I just smelled it. That bowl of noodles is giving off a strong aroma. Masterly deeply inhaled. Feeling that this is the true beef flavor. In the morning, it's already a bit clear. Look at that person coming in. Standing there with a smile, welcoming them up. Let's see how many teachers are sitting in front. Just out of the pot, the beef is steaming hot. There is no shortage of heat. And no sales pitch either. It's just like calling an old friend. Old Lee is looking at that new sign hanging on the wall. This shop is Saint Chonwo. Rejecting the head of the meat soup. Suddenly, there is a bottom line in my heart. Is shouting for 15 bowls of red-hot beef noodles. It has to be a big bowl. The meat should be just right. Just said they ate the return pig food in front. Got to grab the good stuff and press it down. Not even 2 minutes. 5 big bowls of hot air, steaming red-hot beef noodles. It's all coming up. That beef is cut just right. Every piece is perfect. The noodles are clear. Wearing a bright apron. That's a proper beef stew, right? Fat and thin, just right. Looking at it, it's just flowing with mouth-watering. Old Lee lifts a piece of meat. Little heart fluttering, pushing it into my mouth. Soft and fragrant. The beef has a unique milky flavor that ignites in my mouth. Not a hint of weird taste. Swallowing a mouthful of oily broth. Old Lee is making a big move. Just calling it meat. Just said what's fun about eating there. Following this one comparison. Simply put, it's trash. The workers nearby are also eating, their heads are not down. Saying this meat really has a kick. The more you chew, the more fragrant it gets. Yen is just yen, eats 2 hairs. But this money flour is worth it. At least eat it all without worrying about a full stomach. This one plate. Just a few people still in the doorway. Looking in the eyes. Everyone is a lively person. Who don't they want to eat well? Just like that, it's a trend. Then trends, 100 original cold clean family restaurants. By the middle of the day, suddenly starting to queue. Still haven't they eaten before? Broadcast that day's big event. But this return is all about returning customers. It's really understanding how to eat, acknowledging the dead food customer. This one bowl of soup is flowing. Compared to any advertisement, it's all managed. By the afternoon, the sun is leaning west. Big Ken is sitting in a family-style restaurant. Looking at the customers coming in and out of the family restaurant. The noodle bowl in hand was snatched away by him. This one noon. It's just a few unknown passers-by. Basically, it's not starting. A bowl of extra ingredients still sitting there. The flavor is getting stronger. But feared is that the spicy pepper essence won't they hold. Big Ken is shaking and shaking the bowl. Thinking about falling again but can't. The restaurant staff is pulling the little voice. This meat seems really delicious. Big Ken is staring with eyes wide open. In the evening, they are still selling. More points of salt. Feeling like can't eat out. In the evening, it's 8 o'clock. The family restaurant is breaking the bank. In the morning, the last piece of the door frame is well turned. Seeing the parents sitting at the table. Still haven't they had that much in the last 2 days. But there is still 100 pieces to be done. The most important thing is, today's customers. Almost every time someone walks by, it's a big deal. Liu Qianguo is taking the lead. The face is adorned with a joyful smile, a perfect match. Making a living still requires a good heart. Today, a few old brothers said. From now on, just acknowledge them as family. That's just the way it is with the hustlers. Sam Xulan is also there, laughing with her eyes wide open. She said. That oldly said he would bring his younger brother over to eat tomorrow. This is called a mouthful. Lucian is smiling while chatting. Talking about gold cups and silver cups is not as good as the mouthfuls from old Bai. He knows in his heart. The malicious competition will only escalate. Big Boss Qian, what kind of trouble can he stir up? He walked to the door. Avoiding the main road. Looking towards the opposite side, a black signboard catches the eye. It's quietly looming. He seems to be looking at. Big Boss Qian is at the door, looking quite imposing. That's going on. It seems like it's in a shadowy corner. That salt can't be cleared out. The meat is all over the place. He's still heading towards the tap water. Luchin thinks he can't live on his own. He pulls up the window. Switching positions. Holding up a little sister who is already sleeping on the counter. Telling his parents to sleep a bit earlier. Emaru, I'm afraid there will be a big show to watch. The second day, the weather is warm, but it doesn't drop. Even more than yesterday, it still needs to be asked if it's hot. The air is filled with the scent of fire. The big boss opened the door early. Big Boss Qian is feeling tired today. Clearly, he didn't sleep well last night. But he sees the stall with the leftover meat from last night. In his eyes, a light flickers. He calms himself down. As long as he sells out, it's money. As long as he eats without dying, it's no problem. And he don't know. After a night of high temperatures, those greasy meat dishes and toxins already reached a terrifying level. This is no longer a matter of just a few stalls. This is a matter of life and death. It's already 11 o'clock. Still haven't they reached the mealtime. A few early shift workers have already moved into the stall. They are newcomers. Not knowing about these 2 days. Just seeing that hairy sign. Feeling convenient. Shouting for 3 bowls. Quickly, it's about to die. Big Boss Qian looks at the customers. Is coming with spirit. Is about to take out that black and red meat. Lying it on the table. That stock flavor is still being pressed. But the detailed smell can still smell a piece of rotten meat. That few clean bowls are rushing. Adding on the old fire. Also not thinking much. Is starting to eat. 3 bowls under the belly. Big Boss Qian has collected the money. Cheerfully grabbing that piece of 2 hair money. And just barely made it through half a little time. Fussing the front, the stall door returns. Suddenly, a sharp scream comes from a corner. Someone is shouting like a knife. Tightly connected is just a sharp shout. Luchin is now giving customers a taste. Hearing the movement. A plate of fried rice in hand. Thinking about coming. It puts down the fried rice and walks out. The shop door only sees the opposite stall door return. Just now, he ordered 3 bowls of clear soup. At this moment, the soup is already boiling on the ground. Among them, one is rushing at the roadside. The whole thing is still not dissolved. The liquid in black and red. And 2 more are also fully submerged. Holding my belly, I can't stop groaning. Someone's yelling for help. They say there is poison in this. These shout. Making the whole street shake. The passerby. An old man by the nearby shop. Shouting loudly, everyone panics. The big guy's greed has already aggravated the gods. With a hand, he pulls out a wet napkin. Seeing 3 people fighting over there. Everyone's bellies are turning. Still, I'm being rude at the scene. Is doing pretty well over there. But the voice that crashed through the door has already sold him out. The morning station is surrounded by people. Coldly looking at this sheet. At this moment, he's not hastening to move forward. Is waiting for his most crucial moment. A doctor with a medicine bag is sure to pass through. Crowding in at the people's gathering. Looking down, I saw several Boblis symptoms. He can still smell the stinky things on the ground. That stock sour taste makes their mouths pucker. The doctor's already so mad he wants to throw the bowl. The doctor's on his way. A heavy accusation against the big guy. This is the poisonous food in the emergency. Asking if he gave them something to eat. How can the smell of stinky food change? The big boy's cold sweat flows. One sentence also can't come out. Just at that moment. The morning crowd has started to move on. His voice isn't big. But in the anxious crowd, it's uncommonly clear. Telling him to wake up early to save the big guy. That pork soup and the changed meat can't be used. The big guy is loud, but don't they listen. Also adding some chemical seasonings to taste. It's already happened. Is still thinking of hiding it. This sentence feels like a streak of thunder hitting the crowd. Pork soup has changed. Everyone's eyes are similar to daggers. Seating above the big guy. Last day at noon, that place was chaotic. There must have been a doctor on duty. Jet the big guy. This person's face is thick like the city wall. One bite stays firm. Eats that thin thing, self-serving with the fresh water. Or it might be some kind of warmth. Still as the dead chicken's ice mouth. Can't deny there are issues on the market. Still adding up those years, didn't they have supervision? Struggling with criticisms. A few thin workers were dangling water. Not showing a life. This thing just happens. For a moment it crashed and moved. The second day begins early. Be here on the notes is still off in the gate opening. Not just opening. The big guy is still giving that loud voice. Sounds even greater. Is still at the door hanging a plate. Writing a piece of misfit sentences. This shop cleans itself. The beef surface continues. The morning station is at the family restaurant's door. Looking at that face without a mask. I laughed coldly. Feeling really is just not to beat the dead horse. His heart is clear. But the big guy wants to play with price fighting. Wanting to use large quantities. Trying to attract those labor customers. That himself will give him a grab of dirt. The morning turned back for a design. Let the family. Using that small blackboard to write down the menu. Taking down the way to declare a chaotic scene at the door. Looking at the fat boss across from me, it's like the smell of fresh bread. Listen, kid. Get up early. Grab the rice paper this morning. Scratched on that blackboard. eBay written down a few big words since today. Cost-free samples from the restaurant. Unlimited unlimited noodles. Just noodle dishes. Pork rolls. The restaurant has gained a lot of customers, attention. The secret dish turned out to be served on a fragrant lamb plate. The secret dish turned out to be fragrant. Is it a bit stale? That side of the rice shouldn't be dry. Early morning, ready with some rice paper. The brown rice rolls cost a few bucks. Now it's a stage with 6 strands. The base is set to emit meat and bone essence. The noodle strands can be rolled in a steamy manner. Even those big guys can still eat. They also can't resist. And the fat boss's meals are those they just can't help but savor. The people that come along. Their meals are also well regarded. The meat is better than his. It only takes a regular person. Who still goes to eat there? Aren't they those big feet in the restaurant? It's all about the drama. Right now. The clean-cut guy stopped his car at the doorway. Today, he wore a white shirt. Dressed to impress. Wearing a particularly stylish outfit. The car just arrived. Still hanging on to an old, rare newspaper. And a few sketches seem rather high class. Cleared the right-hand side. Shoved down the leftover soup. He thought about going out last night. In the restaurant, there's still that wall painting he did. But the overall structure is still a bit shaky. He opened the sketch in hand. What sat up there was his nightly craft. Olai, sweeping away the fallen newspaper. Using a white newspaper to fold a box. Reflecting the beautiful scenery. Then do a proper hustle. Cramming in some good portions. You could even make a wooden board out of the vegetable list. Early morning, watching him beam with warmth. The moment you take the shot, just follow what he says. Today is a pretty good noon. Now just need to move. Sighing all things clear. This morning, heading out with a burst of energy. With a full plate of fresh delights. The clean-cut guy usually had some drawing and notes. On the side, pointing out good tones and shades. Then the little sister came in quietly. A busy person requests some soda. BC, no longer cheerful. Going through a folding session this noon. This restaurant is still a new venture. Originally a shady yellow mountain turned white. And some need optimization sketches until they become delicious. Colorful yet somehow dull. The folding chair right at the most visible spot. Downstairs, there was a small coffee quickie. Setting up round tables for better throughput. Insida is releasing some simple pop songs. The whole restaurant still has those few tables. But that kind of bustling feel. Something slightly wrong from the alley near the confectionery. Been upgraded to a literary small dining section. It's already around 11:30. When the red star begins to shine, those minimum mic calls start. The fat boss is still out facing that loud alertness. Still holds cuatro. And meanwhile, the workers exit the entrance. The first thing seen is just casually smelling the neighboring restaurant's fragrant blackboard. No cost, unlimited servings. Eat until you can't. The noodle shop has its quirks. They say those old seniors are quite strong. The noodle shop is truly more than just a family dinner. Does anyone dare to shout out now? Still, there are those who claim their portions are generous. The basic bowl doesn't fill you up. Previously, chew you on extra for the noodles. People shouldn't lose faith now. What exactly are they dodging? The crowd seems to bring in the hype. Panic leads the gang to the noodle shop. The big guy by the counter is already grumbling. They can only stare blankly at the crowd in front. The staff behind the counter is even more attentive. People are discussing how this place has changed. It looks like a real last-minute rush. Some may even mention karaoke. Eating here feels like I'm a part of the culture. Especially those young cooks in the back. And the business atmosphere is quite intense. They usually converge around some sweet talks. Previously, the noodle shop's steps were also shuffled. Right now, this layout feels too out of place. This known. The family noodle shop is booming again. And that's because they offer free samples. Those basics are really suitable for one's stomach. They may also run over. Opposing front. The flagship noodle shop removed the overcooked noodles. Just leaving behind the big guys, stark contrasts. Some strangers are trying to move forward. They haven't even reached the door yet. They just be caught off guard. Talk about those folks over there. That crew's meat is all about facing the crowd. Good meat still has its charm. Big guy's energy fills the place. Take a cup from the tea tray. The cups are just 4 to 5 yuan. They see the family noodle shop. Breezy, elegant, and ready to greet the first customers. The two glances exchanged a smile. The warmth in one's heart drives over the stress. There is a vibe of anticipation in the back. That leftover big bowl has already started to gain traction. The weather is getting hotter. These meat must be well taken care of. The morrows will really be about the finished dish. They chewed through. Shifting and stepping back. Pulling that boneless meat out. Also pulling out a big bundle. Not knowing where that white powder came from. There are also those flour rolls. Also a factory of excess. They have to take this last batch of quail meat. Turning into a special meat feast for those days. Completely clearing out. Yost dropped off the last group of customers. They walked to the entrance. Facing the big closed door. Yet lingering scent from fried meat. Those spices hinting at their flavors. Yost lingering around. You can get a whiff that makes people curious. In the morning, moving the body. Seeing the clear calmness around the elegant shift. There are still some families enjoying their happiness. Suddenly, the door opens. No matter what, noon could have a big show. At any moment, anything could happen. Let them do their thing at the shop. Thousands are flocking out. Sang Jinglan hid in a corner. That's the big show about. Seninja may call it as she thought. Is it not that the big guy wants to make a scene? Seninja will watch out. A pinch of chilly air was just enough. Telling him to not make a fuss. How can one send oneself away? Temaru, it's truly about sending him off. The sun is blazing today. The poison is going to turn the frying oil into cooking chaos. It hasn't even reached noon yet. The air is filled with a sticky, hot steam. It's 12 o'clock. The sound of the assembly line at Ongxin Mechanical Factory echoes loudly. The nearby Liu family restaurant has attracted a crowd due to its free noodles. It's like a recipe for a social explosion. In front of the noodle shop, there are surprisingly fewer people. But there are still some interested onlookers. Or maybe they arrived late. Nobody positioned at the counter has entered yet. 3 workers are just sitting at this table. They are all fidgeting. It feels tense and overpowering. One of them is called Daliu. Is a foodie. Early in the day, he was already holding on to his belly. Took a big bite. Picked up a massive bowl of noodles. Comes with those shreds of meat. Gulps down a big mouthful. The entry for meat noodles. Daliu's appetite seemed to be stuck. It really is spicy. But this spice doesn't feel like a fragrant hot pepper. Instead, it's a direct assault on his taste buds. The spicy noodles press heavily on his stomach. Feels it tightening. When the hot broth burns the spices, it becomes intensely red. The distinctive flavor surging through has been overwhelming. It's unbearably hot. It feels like a fireball. It's like chewing on a mouthful of cotton candy. Suddenly struck with a hard dose of stomach acidity. That's the result of bypassing caution in the kitchen. Daliu's moment of realization hits hard. He gasped for air. What does that fat over there taste like? It resembles the spicy slush from a flooded riverbank. There is also a hint of sourness here. That big guy mumbled something. The ghost in his heart starts to jump. Instantly fell into disarray. That's hot chili oil. It gives him a major rush. He can't recognize it at all. Daliu is also a master of spicy food. Hearing this, he lost interest. Ushin spicy noodles, he jumps up with a pale dash of color. What kind of meat is this? They all turned into this. The white resembles corpses. Is this really beef? That bowl of noodles. The others in the restaurant ceased eating as well. Everyone looks to check their own bowl. They have yet to realize. Currently, it feels increasingly exhausting. Suspicious thoughts arise. Daliu feels unsettled. Yet, he knows this will definitely be unrecognized by you. Takes a glance at the bowl. Feels the surrounding atmosphere thickening. Pointing at Daliu, he begins to throw accusations. These guys are sly devils. Want to grab some cheap goods, but still wanting 3 bowls of their pricey meal. Jet Dalu wants to eat a bowl of rich flavors. It feels as though he's been burned. He stands up and takes a deep breath. It heads toward the counter. That massive bowl sold they've been avoided at all costs. It feels akin to a contestant facing judgment. Revealing I spent money on food to treat myself. It can't mention any further. It still needs to be cautious. The increasing sound of quarrels grew louder. In no time, people started to gather around. Facing the entrance of Liu family restaurant. They give a warm welcome to a customer. Hearing the commotion. A drops his tray. A raises his eyebrows in surprise. His heart felt ready to burst. A took a deep breath. Removed the surroundings. Lit the legend of the Starlight Building and Seninja fold. He will confront him head on. Seninja is looking elegant and poised. He caught a glimpse of a fleeting shadow. He asked him if he wants to head to the hot pot place. He just threw a grin over my shoulder. He told him to take the main road. At that moment, the restaurant door was already surrounded by people. Alarje, that guy was still hopping there. The big guy's breath isn't just bad, is it? He smashed down head first early today. Right around this time. The crowd started to split open a path. The path made way for both hands to join. Leisurely walking into the scene. The big guy started losing his swagger. The big guy caught a glimpse of the morning. It was like a cat being hit by a tail. He asked him what he wants to deal with. He said to come watch a joke. Also, this guy is using him to make trouble. In the morning, he completely didn't send him off. And he directly walked to where the big guy's table was. A looked up and saw that red little sign. And then a sour smell wafted through. The thick aroma of the chemical essence mixed. It felt like the sourness of bad meat just hit my nose. In the morning, there's no bad smell coming out. The big guy had already recognized the morning. You know the restaurant at Starlight serves well. Please give him some evaluation. Ask if this meat is not fresh. The big guy was whining by the side. Let the morning not cause any trouble. This is a terrible rivalry. In the morning, I walked past him. Seeing the big guy's expression just getting more dull. The smile on his face slowly vanished. What could be a disaster by replacing a skilled cook? Ace said it was the same deal. That they have the bottom line to deal with cooking. In the morning, I pointed at that sign. Raised my voice. Let everyone around here. He said everyone is an old street mob. In ordinary times, cooking also can be known. Beef should be fresh. It's best if it's a red or deep maroon color. Clear the issues. A picked up a bunch of meat. And showed it to the crowd. A said this meat is pure white. Points for a draw. There is not a single piece of small lean fat. It's simply not genuine beef. This is lamb. Is this a beef head? And this is called rubbish meat. The crowd was beginning to flip. Someone mentioned this is lamb. That's not for a pig that doesn't eat, right? Someone suggested there's something toxic. Eating it will cause illness. The big guy appeared pale. Is still leaving almost dead. It said that's beef belly. It just has beef oil scent. The morning is getting less and less red. A cold laugh came out. In between, he turns to where the big guy's face is. It told him this is the key taste. Let everyone wonder. The key flavor is spicy. What taste is in this bowl? After the meat stewed, what came out is sour. That's half a bowl of sharp essence. That one tastes a bit too much. Let the nearby few people take a step back. You'll state some meals, a few guests, divine changes. A few people have already started to feel nauseous. Can't help but get out. A worker slowly rushed up. And captured the big guy's manager. A said that was some smelly meat. Down is breaking. Workers around Daju and the surrounding area say. Is this meat good or bad? Is it really the kind for stew? The light does not help with the chatter. In the shop, the noodles might not be fully cooked yet. You just need to take a look. It's definitely very white now. The workers are quite lively. Where are the big beef bowls still being served? They can directly hit the back kitchen. Before half a minute passes. A cry came from the kitchen. A few people. It's still sending out dirty chives. Ran out. Put it down on the ground. That bowl has the secret ingredient hog horn under the sunny day. Under the blazing sun. That color simply catches the eye. Red chili oil made from spicy beets. Below, it's all grayish-white raw meat. In some places, the little joke has already begun. Used a few pieces of pickled herbs finished brewing. It's the sound of worms crying. That one is a warning to everyone. It's like a living weapon. A short moment bouncing through the entire street. Nearby people can't stand it anymore. The crowd bursts out laughing. Fussing the police, they seem furious. The big guy is sitting on the ground. Down has passed. Recorded and caught those shaking big guys. Let him go to the health inspector. This spoiled meat is not something to mess with. ENG leave you with that. At this moment, a faint sound of car horns broke through, still alerting a few serious drivers. The street has topped out with people. Initially, there were only a few that dared to approach. Early on, they went to report it. The big man just caught a glimpse of the dressed-up person. Noltely licked his lips. And suddenly felt they lost. Down looked at that dog sitting there. Their sturdy power and name had receded. A had a deep chuckle. Ran into the crowd heading his way. Bane was a mixed scuffle. In the primary shop of the Daisy. Under the sun, the glances are sharp. Don decorated the entrance to the Lee family's noodle shop. Refreshing, inviting people. He's handing out a round to Don. With the eyes holding a gentle smile. The Red Star mechanics startled the crowd. The alarm burst broke the atmosphere. They quickly got behind them. That's the one wearing the guard from the certification. A few people in white stand. The workers with uniforms jumped down. Handheld silver-colored inspection box. The big fellow just had to sit there. Crisis hasn't passed. Really, when looking at them. A little negative air passed by. It seems they really have plenty. The workers let it exit one path. With urgency, they lifted their spirits. Civilian police raised the warning line. Surrounding the primary shops didn't they open. That the leader's position showed a strong spirit. In hand there held a reliable sign. The glare appeared like candles around the big fellow. Ask if that isn't they. That big fellow is. His name just speaks of bad meat. No little heart. Leading big fellow, smiles coldly. They pulled the reliable tag again. We collected the tip off this morning. Who said that meat for what? Added what ingredients? Where did this clear and bright aura come from? Don't take it lightly. Lucien is a hefty little guy, isn't he? Who wrote the ad post? He just slapped the table. His bloodshot eyes glanced towards the crowd. Only saw Lucien standing in front of his family's restaurant. With his hand, he held a plate of noodles. It's a slow process. Getting rid of that disgusting slab of inferior meat. Feeling the gaze of attention. Lucien dimly noticed him with one eye. The corner of his mouth lifted in a smirk, turning his body continuously to maintain activity. In that brief moment, Lucien shines brightly in the morning. He feels a surge of adrenaline, thinking of dodging the line. In the early morning, there's a little guy lurking. The local policemen are making trouble for me. Hold on to him. Lucien grabbed his wrist. Entering for no more than 5 minutes. Calling out with fear. The back kitchen is simply in the midst of chaos. With pork strips thrown at the bottom. Rolling around in the green grass. What a disaster. In the hidden corner under the stall. Searching for a few unmarked ingredient packs. The owner of the stand just tripped a bit. The scent stirred up the flavor. This is industrial waste. There is still barbed straw water. Where is the food made? This is a poisoning attempt. Being photographed in a unique style. Everything is stored away. There's a couple of bags roll out from the east. The workers outside are blazing hot. Is there anyone questioning if the barbed straw is not on the label? A few workers are waiting by the roadside. Also a bit crazy. The sauce is coming out. Big Lou just finished the urgent review. The moment the head was lifted, he had to crash. Being hugged tightly by the crew. Big Lou was dragged out. With a nose full of stink, he asked for the meal. He just said he was wrong. The food he produced has toxins and harmful foods. Wanting to wear the uniform. Taking the police car away. 2 big guards are posted. Planting the courtyard at the big door. That early morning, still shouting cuatro students from the big gate. The bottom was already cold. Surrounding the crowd makes him fearful. Regradación is sharp towards the bottom. Is there someone saying a bit more about the morning? It's not about him looking at the meat not right. Is still managing to eat a bit. Is there anyone saying that this news is even written by him? This is called confronting the local harm. The morning at the restaurant. Looking at the police car going far. Feel a bit of stones falling at heart. Lucian's gun will pass through. Sending out betrayal. Asking if you want to sit at the same table. The morning offered the parents a cup of water. Sighing that is what he found. Today, the road has reached the head. Over what's already gained. Sending out a labor pressure to the head. Al in a rush. Later in the restaurant, you said to do it. He just managed to keep it alive. At this time, Lou's restaurant has become a good heart's representative. The police car just drove. The restaurant was blown away. Is there anyone yelling at the head? This round released my heart, eat it all. Someone brought a big dish. Adding eggs made the back kitchen busy during the early hours. But he is feeling high-spirited. It all starts from today. This Red Star machine. The dining area at the mechanical factory's entrance. I mentioned this morning's calculations. At the entrance of the family noodle shop, the large aroma loomed. A major train of the railway is now pushing through heat. This train shed has bloodshed this morning. A few dozen servings of beef tendons just hit the bottom. On top, the fully washed white beef brisket shines. Beef hearts and beef intestines. In the middle. Staying there is that large jar's special medicine. Following the smoking heat. The soup color turned impure from the bright light. Underneath, 4 points half. Is still not finished with the shift. The fragrance of this stock. Just pushing forward with the Red Star machine's workings. This taste is too exceptional. With a mild aroma of herbal medicine mixed with meat. It lets the personnel's eyes brighten. Waiting the rumbling car. Mejor food and beverage tasks were dealt with. Stomachs call for it as if they're craving for a tune. It seems like a new dish debuting just came in. Shifts ended and energy was released. 100 meters of action. At 5 points, the shift's peak just received a jolt. The entrance was being opened by workers. The morning station is in front of the big train, carrying a long blade. Steady self-presentation. In the back, both parents are waiting firmly. The major action of big food segments caught on. Bats with this major train. What else still has leftover ingredients? Morning thrives kicking off a white silky beef. Herb-seasoned beef. Cleansing the heating. Nutritious boosts. On major hot days, eat this. Kempercha cold rice. Steve soften. A big slice of egg hair. Delivering rice meals in sufficient water. Morning rising peaks downward. Well-trained beef steadily comes into the pot. Rolling above one layer of hot creamed beef. Grabbing green salad leaves. Maintaining this thoroughly herbal tea. In front, suppressing 2 layers. Layers are red-shaped curl structures. Mixed with flour-breaking delicious powder. Another layer is the black shiny special sauce. Added with small spicy and aromatic vegetables. Mejor food needs to lift. In with the stain finding the board with chairs. First drink a sip of the soup. This soup under the stomach. Major action triggered off. Delicious beyond measure. First it's thoroughly ingested. Keeping consistently is jerky bone seasoning. Not a bit unappreciated. Contrarily, it feels like the heat's taking strands of hair outside. It just struck with a solid bite. Beef's processes are extremified. Next is a fuck. Beef processes are extremely good. Oil reduces residue, bringing good conditions. Spicy aroma shines from rich beef oil. In the mouth, the moment ignites. Being fat but not thick. Soft and tasty pork. This beef is undecidable. Compared to red roast beef still being fragrant. On the side, an old technician picked up bottle gourd. Scooping up a piece of fluffy beef. Spicy and delicious. Beef's flamboyant fragrance. Crammed this good. Digest more smoothly. Right now, a bowl of freshly cooked bamboo rice just came out. Uncovering the fragrant rice, mixed with the scent of wood. Rice and seasoning. A large bowl filled to the brim. The rice is freshly steamed and fragrant. It poured half a bowl of tender beef and set it to the side. Then added the remaining sauce over the noodles. Red and white rice. The spicy beef is sitting in the bowl. Like a fierce tiger, it quickly pounces. This rice truly smells amazing. Compared to that other Bless's noodles, this is 100 times stronger. This bowl of fresh noodles will refresh your appetite again. That red hot pot has been added again. Hundreds of plates of tender beef are selling like hotcakes. The corner spots are crowded with diners. This is simply a treat. Washing the lamps filled with sweet rice with huge portions. Yost knew it would be good. The spicy beef not only solves the summer's heat. Even the workers who don't resist the spicy soup all pulled up. A debate between dry-cooked and wet-cooked noodles. Eventually, it turned into a hot topic. No matter how they argue. In the end, only one came to enjoy fresh noodles. Following the famous noodle shop's name, the fire starts. In the end, no one sat still. The only national feast noodle shop in the town. Grandpa Sam from Red Star Noodle Shop. Stir-fried for 20 years. High spirits abound. Before. Everyone used to go to the national feast noodle shop for the flavor. The closest customers resemble those departing in a similar manner. Yost got out of the industry. I'll run to that particular small shop across from them. Old Sam Duente backed down. This afternoon, the big pot of soup was shared. Changed into casual clothes. The soap's aroma was killing it at the noodle shop. Old Sam stepped into the entrance. Standing at the door, coming for what? That other beef can boil for a while. It must be pretending to be a god-seer. The waiting table is not like the food stall. Light coming from the plate. The morning is slicing meat. Took a look. Discovered old Sam. All diners in the shop stopped by for a taste. The mood looked good. No leftovers at all. On the contrary, smiling while waving. Originally, it was Teacher Sam's well-known guest. Still coming. Then, please instruct and guide him. Let the chef cook back the flavorful beef. Returning the beef to the king of noodles. The ultimate choice between flame and selection. The morning picks the 2 slices of meat. Seek yet tender meat. Savory and soft meat freshly served. Chilled down the boiling pot. Add sweet potatoes, flour stalks stir-fried to dripping. Brown out the classic flavor. Cook into thin layers of appropriate thickness. Start with steaming oil. See meat laid in the boiling broth. Gave a sound. A fragrant taste ignites. Fast-paced cooking sparks excitement. Meat placed in hot oil wrapping. Transform into a glowing warmth. Underneath a sweet and sour sauce in the boiling pot. Letting the meat wear an outstanding garment. Finally grabbing a handful of skillfully chopped greens. A great fiery explosion. 10 seconds to the boiling point. The bowl color glowed bright red. The spicy noodle corner came to Old Sang's front. Old Sang. Washing the bowl filled with delicious meat slices. The face changed color. The worker quickly went out. Used knowing whether it is or not. Every slice of meat here is had perfectly tender. Every piece of meat in this hot pot has become richly flavorful. The red oil shines but is not greasy. He picked up a piece of meat. There are bits of residue on his hand. Putting it in his mouth. Fat but not greasy. The flavors of the spicy meat and fragrant herbs perfectly blend in his mouth. Especially that piece of beef. It directly overcomes the heavens. Old Sang is chomping away. Movement slowed down. He thinks he can outmatch them. He wants to say this meat is aged. Or maybe the taste won't do. But he was all about the juicy stuff. In the end, he could only muster a long gulp. Old Sang puts down the chopsticks. The ambience carries some tension. And there are some jokes as well. The chef must be worried. Old Sang has been stirring up trouble for 20 years. As if to say he's the top dog in town. Though the ace count seems off. Rising at dawn, he gripped the tongs tightly. Meeting with the satisfying customers who come to enjoy their meal. Right up here. The first pinch of culinary excellence in the market. Old Sang knew this pinch. It was like serving up a splendid banquet. Flashing a chief certificate from the authority. Domestic diners came to enjoy. Who still dares to say this restaurant is not enjoyable? The accidents from these fiery explosions came directly after. It's just that the shop front is insufficiently used. Every day, customers gather outside the door. Even to the point of eating on the road. Down brings out the big players. Quickly closing the gaze that lingers between 2 stalls. The plates were finished. In the design of renovated equipment, the task is naturally handed over to Kingbin. For the purpose of purchasing materials and selecting gourmet items. In those few days of Kinkin's attendance. A few times a day towards the city, he dashed. There's a stretch that's all dirt road. Bumpy and winding trail. Speeding along in that newly bought eternal 8-wheeler. Kingbin sat in the back row. An easy grip on his jacket's patch. The car brakes again over a big puddle. A minor bump in the steering wheel. Kingbin shouted in surprise. Lowering the rich hand that held onto the morning's breeze. All the people piled up behind him. In that brief moment, down feels a warm and tender embrace. The heart beats quickly during the half-take. Kinkin's face was also red and flushed. Like a mature peach. But he didn't have the nerve to open his hand. Instead, gripping tighter. The wind passes by the roadside stark white poplar. Sunshine filters through the tree shadows cascading below. Entraped on the bodies of the 2 people. Kinkin's voice is soft. Blown by the wind are some scattered hints. He spoke as if building this restaurant had been easy. He should also consider the potential troubles. Don is a rather straightforward guy. Understood little of what was happening. The wobbly car darted fast ahead. Kingbin lightly descended on his foot. Bizarre rats made him think to narrate. He is nearly ready to break up the assignments. His mom asked him yesterday. Is there anyone in the town that would fit the description? Down striking the horn of the truck. One hand raised in the air. He looked at Kingbin. Kingbin showed signs of some mixed feelings. Not daring to meet his intense gaze. Pointing at the route of the process of the trip. The voice changing into a more discerning tone. The eyes reflecting on the stock stability. He mentioned the new shop opening that day. He just went to his family's place. He wants everyone in the village to know. Seninga is the elder sister figure he acknowledges. Seninga raised her head confidently. There is a fire burning in her eyes. Right after. She casually released a joke that still needs some refinement. Well said about him, he fits right in. That moment, the following encounters not only provided materials but also knowledge. Even 2 young people are racing ahead. The best is yet to come. Switch your gaze to October. Kinyu's arrival was a big event. Deongsin Mechanical Factory welcomed a major event. 30 weeks in celebration. This factory's layout has been improved. Not every factory has to cater to tens of thousands of workers. Market leaders must come to observe. Originally, the large group of several thousand is due to the food stall's responsibility. Bad information briefly escapes. The workers are not hot-tempered. The food stall gives a boost for the big gate. Some say. Inside the food stall, there are many big days. What does it reflect? Some say you must eat somewhere big and cozy. Who dares to let everyone develop chatter over noodles? So Min Juan is a considerate person. Looking at the name is quite difficult to stop. A big hand can just grip. Directly photographing the foods along with the noodle shop. Do a self-help meal style that's like a befitting contest. Let everyone eat in a satisfying way. This news briefly came out. The whole village started moving. Thousands of people are quite a large group. This measures how much money and food are needed. In the morning, I will settle in on this task. All of them are waiting. Not just the employees in the store. The village's 7 big sisters. I'll come to help wash the vegetables and cut the meat. At that time, lisendos with flavors coming from all the gourmet room's special dishes. In the morning will be 2 doves. That initial view isn't possible. Even when it's morning, I have to borrow money. Going to the top carrying a bucket of water. We's that girl having no unique aura. Eat spin through the back door. The 2 sisters have 1 round of beauty. In those piles like mountains of meat, talk about moving. A came to help in the morning. Say he should act like that. Don't be overly forceful. The family complains about their child not working. Most not let them manage to buy. Or manage income makes it. The family manages money. Family, morning is pointing to food. Hearing this, the dishes in hand to the menu must be loaded. This strong voice must have negotiated. The fake smiles on the faces already made it. The cold morning shows now. Tell him to remember that when he first borrowed money. The sister tells him he cannot stay still. Saying to borrow money, he just needs a meat bag. Ask him how he is now that he is steady. Successful. The sister is still in charge. That is a fault meeting. In the morning he pointed to the peeking. A little bit of the surface hasn't been given. Saying this place doente need to be filled. It's about helping to wash dishes. Pressing the working hours for money. A little more on 5 strands of hair. It's about managing money and capturing. No one in the door has let him leave. The sister's likely to become angry. Thinking about helping to wash dishes. Having money to admit nothing is proper. At this moment, Sang Qinglan has stepped in. Grab the big chunk. Gas 2 meters wide. A dragged the chunk towards the table. Ask the second sister how she's doing. Thinking about the business belonging to his younger brother. Saying he doesn't even care who owns this plate. Workers are still outside. You don't want him shouting one time. Let everyone come and see his face. Looking back to see who exactly made him angry. Second sister. Looking outside at the workers in uniforms. That's the most energetic guy in the morning. Second sister, you're in luck. Said let's go, what's the matter? With a smoky laugh, the child ran away. Like 2 mice passing through the street. This one sounds like it hardly impacts the path. On the contrary, it made her more focused on the struggle. Faces of the day. The big dispatch field at the Red Star machinery. Red flag unfolding. Sounding the trumpet loudly. Crammed with various dishes on display. A fragrant cloud hovering. Except for the traditional chicken soup and red roast beef. The route will still take out new rice noodles. Rice noodles soaked in beef broth. Soft and fragrant. Entering the mouth is like transformational. Exploding beef meets its fiery end. Chewy and delightful. Spicy enough for the taste buds. Cold cuts of beef head like a soft pillow. Bright red oil glazed. Below the frying pan. Naturally. There are still those red specialties in the market. The market leaders here are just hustling along. Talking chit chat, just walk. As a result, this flavor. Han feels like it was born with its roots. The leader was able to get through another plate of beef noodles. Ice chon. Asking if this really is a rustic village crafted by an architect. Eating to the point it flows down. Also not stiff and abnormal. Unballing the first plate of adhesive. The flavor turned out like this. Better than what is shown in the market. This beef stew is just enough. So Ming looks light, smiles like it doesn't shock the throat. The face has a clear expression. Introducing that this is their factory's classic dish. So Ming's culinary uncle could be their chef in here. This menu. Doente consume a huge pile of benefits. In that age, simply there's the heavenly script. More importantly, it's subtly struck the name. A few days after the county reported, the reporter stirred up the buzz. Headline Nas, delicious food among spring breeze. At a young age, the group really relied on their happiness. Off the report. Setting up a new station before the big deal of the month. Reporting the bulletin head count. It was lively. This time was not happening in a small village. But it caught fire in the city. Before the Spring Festival 1986. The Red Star machine factory door once broke the street. Now got a thick red ribbon. Like the red ground flooded. Rebuilt after the Jiang family's major tower officially opened. This is no longer the first that only had 6 tables. The corner pizza shop just dropped. The current Yan family upstairs has 2 floors. The green lily wrapped in honey. Gas supplies resemble a palace. In the magnificent light of the big tower, could accommodate more than 100 people while serving hot noodle bowls. The entrance holds 2 golden words clearly defined. In the sunshine gradually glowing. Holding the Yan family dining group. Holding a culinary culture in various forms. Group procurement meets at the restaurant. Today, this place is the heart of the entire town. The house guests are looking splendid. The tall waiter looks impressive. So Mingjuan, the manager, came all the way from the Changlong factory. The market leader is also riding the small electric cart on the thoroughfare. There are even people from the provincial city. Aipu bus just pulled up, dropping off an old head. It's wearing an oversized coat that's almost like a straitjacket. A hint of disarray lingers in the air. That stock is filled with pure energy. Does anyone still have the time to enjoy a vibrant feast from the past? It directly comes from a scene out of a story. The business is booming. Surrounding him is a pure and elegant charm. Is wearing a big red outfit. The moment is just a touch spectacular. Beauty lets no one shut their eyes. 2 people casually point at a matching glossy gown. A moment captured is a glimpse of vibrant youth. The young lady is wearing something like a playful dress. Holding a recently washed photo. A spirited runner rushes over, asking the brother to quickly come and take a look. In the picture is a person at the restaurant's entrance. Liu Hyangguo walks in wearing a shiny new outfit. A smiling face can only be seen, not perceived. A striking pen touches the sleek page. Sang Shaolan coined the new trend. A divine twist. The face of wealth mirrors the gaze. Morning freshness and elegance find themselves together. The side is all sweetness. The youth stands in the crowd. A kind of big rooster is well raised. The backdrop reflects a significant golden phase. And the other side is filled with an aroma lingering throughout the day. It's moving through feelings. Pointing out the delicacies. That double act brings down an oversized dish. At this moment, there's some subtle turbulence. Ace says. I never imagined my family could have such a day. These dishes worth it. Washing the white hair of a relative shines. Seeing the smile of my mother in the scene. Washing my beloved at the side. Morning freshness inhaled with a breath. Dip in flavor, I flow with a thermal current. This is truly like a dream. From that deficit marking, people leapt into the river of loss. By now, the family has reached thousands, with amazing dining experiences. A used 1 plate. Through the vital examination of fate. The right time has arrived. With a sudden shout, he dismantled the complex thinking of morning. The morning pierces through elegance. Taking big steps up the platform. Facing that corner is quite determined. A glimmering lamp of the hour in a delicate glow. And that 1 plate fills the awaited bowls. A cleared away the warmth. A voice enhances and self-assures. Passing through gathers of people. Thank you everyone for supporting my venture. But this is only the beginning. A raises his hand. Pointing to distant places. Next year, we aim to open a franchise in the regional city. The following year, we will have the local beef noodles sold to Beijing capital. The future. I want to let the whole world taste the flavors of southern Sichuan. I want to let people reserve these 2 words. Becoming the culinary capital of aesthetic cuisine. Rambling like thunder. The shouting voice shocks the sky. Though possibly push back the housetop. In this filled expectation of the años 80. At this steaming restaurant entrance. The happenings of the morning. Only just starting to open up a bigger stage. Is starting from that plate. A story about a bold guardian with good heart flipping the switch. And so it settled. Based on the dawn of commercial kings. Only just began to soar.